Vladimir Putin is that spy, and this is no movie script. We have been attacked. We are at war.
Okay, who's responsible for this video? Oh, it's a non-partisan group. So who's in it? Hollywood director Rob Reiner, who called for an all-out war to resist Trump. David Frum, a neocon who voted for Hillary Clinton and called on Trump to resign. Max Boot, a CFR globalist who said that Trump was too stupid to be president. And James Clapper, Obama's spy master, who has attacked Trump on numerous occasions. So it's basically a coalition of never-Trump neocons in alliance with hysterical anti-Trump leftists. Yeah, really non-partisan.
Using social media to spread propaganda and false information, he convinces people in democratic societies.
Evil Vladimir marshaled the fake news army to manipulate millions of Americans, and that itself is fake news. A Stanford University study found that fake news didn't significantly impact the election, and that the most widely believed fake news stories were those that benefited Hillary Clinton. Oh yeah, and it's pretty ironic that James Clapper, who perjured himself by lying about the wiretapping of the American people.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly.
Who himself put out fake news when he lied on a news show by claiming the intelligence community didn't wiretap the Trump campaign.
There was no such wiretap activity mounted against the president-elect at the time, or as a candidate, or against his campaign.
A claim we now know to be completely false.
CNN has learned that investigators wiretapped former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort.
He's the one now complaining about fake news. Give me a break.
He convinces people in democratic societies to distrust their media.
Given that the Podesta emails revealed the media were shameful, sycophantic prostitutes for the Hillary Clinton campaign and the political class, distrusting the media is just about the most democratic thing Americans could ever do.
For 241 years, our democracy has been a shining example to the world of what we can all aspire to.
Yeah, until 2017, when the deep state took a dump all over it by trying to overthrow a democratically elected president.
Join the committee to investigate Russia. Join the fight.
Is this the best you've got? Is this all you have left? An 80-year-old actor reading a teleprompter.
We are at war.
Spewing a script written by the denizens of the deep state. And you really think you're gonna convince people with this? Listen, if America had wanted a war with Russia, Hillary Clinton would be president right now. She isn't. And this level of desperation only shows that, just like Hillary on September 11, 2016, your Russian narrative is collapsing. Please click the big red button to subscribe. It really helps me when you do that. And click the bell to allow notifications so you never miss a new video.
It's a moral choices issue. It's an ethical issue. It's one of integrity. And it really goes to the core of whether or not you are someone that believes passionately in women's rights and the right of women to be free from violence and evil like this. Look, I was a prosecutor. We made no money as a prosecutor. I could have gone and been a defense attorney and made a lot of money representing people like that. I made a choice because that wasn't something that sat well with me. I chose to be on the side to represent and protect victims of violent crime, the people that are most vulnerable, Jesse, women and children.
That's right. And I don't have too much of a problem with her getting this guy off on a technicality. That's what lawyers are paid to do. What I have a problem with her doing is lying about this victim and then laughing about it. This is a 12-year-old girl who was raped brutally, was put in a coma. She was a virgin, okay? She was told she could never have children again. And what did Hillary Clinton do to this person when she said, this girl seeks out older men? She said, that's just a lie. She said, this person is mentally unstable. Also a lie. She said that this girl had made up rape claims before against people. That was a lie, okay? Hillary has a problem with unethical behavior and lying. We know this about her. Remember, she was terminated from the House Judiciary Committee investigating Watergate for unethical behavior. She lied about coming under fire in Bosnia by the snipers. And then she's spinning this tale about this video in Benghazi. She's got a real problem with telling the truth.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
And you?
I'm good, good. I just wanted to catch up with you on what you thought when you were there.
Okay, yes, I returned last night already, so that I was 1 day.
Yeah. Impressions?
Impressions are sad.
Mm-hmm.
I met with representatives of Regions Party, also new coalition representatives, and also civil society. There is this lady called Olga, who is the head of the doctors.
Olga.
Yes,
yeah,
you know her.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, so that, well, my impression is in this sense sad that there is, well, no trust towards also these politicians who will return now to the coalition. Well, people from Maidan and from civil society, they say that they know everybody who will be in new government. All these guys have dirty past.
Yeah.
So that, well, they made some proposals to the same Olga and some others from civil society to join new government. But this Olga, for example, she says directly that she's ready to go to the government only in the case if she can take with her team foreign experts to start real healthcare reforms.
Yeah.
So that, well, basically it is that the trust level is absolutely low. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, all these security problems, this integrity problems, Crimea, all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Regions Party was absolutely upset. They say that, well, they accept this, that now there will be new government and there will be extraordinary elections, but there is enormous pressure against the members of parliament, that there are uninvited visitors during the night to party members. Well, some journalists who were with me, they saw during the day that one member of parliament was just beaten in front of the parliament building by these guys with the guns on the streets.
Yeah.
So that all this mess is still there. And of course, this Olga and others from civil society, they were absolutely sure that people will not leave the streets before they see that the real reforms will start. So that it's not enough that there is just change of government. So that is the main impression. So that from EU's and also, well, Estonia's point of view, of course, we should ready to put this financial package together with others.
Yeah.
This very clear message is needed that it's not enough that there is change of government, but the same real reforms, real, action to increase the level of trust. Otherwise, well, it will end badly.
Yeah.
Because the Regions Party also said that, well, you will see that if the people from the eastern part of Ukraine will really wake up and will start to demand their rights. Some people also with me, they were in Donetsk. Their people said that, well, we can't wait how long still the occupation of Ukraine lasts in Donetsk.
Yeah.
That it is real Russian city, and we'd like now to see that, well, Russia will take over. So that, well, short impressions.
No, very, very interesting. I've just had a big meeting here with Olli Rehn and the other commissioners to talk about what we can do. I mean, we're working on financial packages, short, medium, long term, everything from how we get money in quickly, how we support the IMF, and how we get a kind of investment packages and business leaders and so on. On the political side, we've worked out resources we've got, and I offered to civil society and to Yatsenyuk and Klitschko and everybody I met yesterday. We can offer you people who know how to do political and economic reform. The countries that are closest to Ukraine have themselves been through dramatic changes and have done big political and economic reforms. So we've got loads of experience to give you, which we're happy to give. I've said to the people in Maidan, yes, you want real reforms, but you've got to get through the short term first. So you need to find ways in which you can establish a process that will have anti-corruption at its heart, that will have people working alongside until the elections, and that you can be confident in the process. And I said to Olga, you may not be health minister now, but you need to think about becoming health minister in the future, because people like you are going to be needed to be able to get and make sure that happens. But I've also said to them, if you simply barricade the buildings now, and the government doesn't function, we can't get money in because we need a partner to partner with.
Absolutely.
And I've said to the the opposition leaders shortly to become government, you need to reach out to Maidan. You need to be, engaging with them. You also need to get ordinary police officers back on the streets under a new sense of their role, so that people feel safe. I said to the Party of the Regions people, you have to go and lay flowers where the people died. You have to show that you understand what has happened here.
Absolutely.
Because what you're experiencing is anger of people who've seen the way that Yanukovych lived and the corruption, and they assume you're all the same. And also the people who've lost people and who feel that, he ordered that to happen. There's quite a lot of shock, I think, in the city, a lot of sadness and shock, and that's going to come out in some very strange ways if they're not careful. So I think all of this we just have to work on. So we've done a big meeting here today to try and get this in place. But yeah, it's very interesting, your observation.
It is, and well, actually the only politician the people from civil society mentioned positively was Poroshenko.
Yeah.
So that he has some sort of, how to say, trust among all these Maidan people and civil society. And second, what was quite disturbing, the same Olga told that, well, all the evidence shows that people who were killed by snipers from both sides, among policemen and people from the streets, that they were the same snipers killing people from both sides.
Well, that's.
So that, and then she also showed me some photos. She said that as medical doctor, she can, say that it is the same handwriting, the same type of bullets, and it's really disturbing that now the new coalition, that they don't want to investigate what exactly happened, so that there is now stronger and stronger understanding that behind snipers, it was not Yanukovych, but it was somebody from the new coalition.
I think they do want to investigate. I mean, I didn't pick that up. That's interesting. Gosh.
Yeah, so that it was, in this sense, disturbing that if it starts now to live its own life very powerfully, that it already discreditates from very beginning also this new coalition.
I mean, this is what they've got to be careful of as well, that they need to demand great change, but they've got to let the RADA function. If the RADA doesn't function, then
Absolutely.
It's complete chaos. So that it's all, being an activist and a doctor is very, very important, but it means you're not a politician. And somehow they've got to come to a kind of accommodation for the next few weeks with how the country's actually going to run. And then we get the elections and things can change. And that's, I think, going to be quite...
Le 18 février 2014, via Institutskaya à Kiev. Notez la voiture Honda immatriculée AA4774CO. C'est dans ce véhicule Honda que sera retrouvé le fusil à lunettes doté d'un silencieux. Nous en reparlerons plus tard. Nous voyons ici un jeune homme avec un casque blanc. Il reste à proximité de cette Honda. On dirait presque qu'il n'est pas intéressé par ce qui se passe dans la rue. Notez bien cette fermeture éclair sur le blouson de l'homme au casque blanc. C'est la même que celle sur la manche du conducteur de la Honda. En fait, c'est la même veste que celle de l'homme au casque blanc. Et voilà le casque blanc sur le siège passager. Le conducteur de la Honda immatriculée AA4774CO va bientôt être obligé de montrer ses papiers, mais aussi le contenu de son coffre. C'est là que les manifestants vont trouver le fusil à lunettes doté d'un silencieux. C'est bien la même Honda avec la même immatriculation gouvernementale. Vous pouvez contrôler par vous-même. Les manifestants bloquent la voiture où ce fusil a été trouvé. Regardons ce qui se passe maintenant. Le fusil est caché des regards indiscrets par le député et leader de l'opposition Sergueï Pachinsky. Avouez que son apparition à l'improviste, à côté de cette voiture transportant le fusil, est un brin étrange, n'est-ce pas? Remarquez aussi cet homme à la veste noire et l'écharpe jaune. Il se trouve sur la droite de la Honda et observe attentivement ce qui se passe. L'homme à l'écharpe jaune discute avec Paczynski, qui lui donne des ordres. On le revoit ensuite au volant de la Honda. Le fusil à lunettes est toujours dans le coffre. L'homme avec le masque va aller récupérer ses papiers auprès des manifestants. Il est clair qu'il veut dissimuler son identité, car l'air dans la voiture, aussi bien qu'à l'extérieur, est parfaitement respirable. Pourquoi la voiture contenant le fusil et l'homme masqué s'en vont-ils ensemble? Évidemment, Sergueï Paczynski et d'autres personnes impliquées dans cette histoire ont quelque chose à cacher. De toute façon, les noms des protagonistes de cet épisode de la Révolution sont aujourd'hui bien connus. Et maintenant que cette vidéo est sortie, ils doivent la vérité au peuple ukrainien. L'homme à l'écharpe jaune s'appelle Yuri Sobolta. Il travaille au ministère de l'Intérieur et est un proche du ministre de l'Intérieur Arsen Avakov. Lors de la fête consacrée aux troupes propres au ministère de l'Intérieur, Arsen Avakov a récompensé Yuri Sobolta avec un pistolet Ford 1705 personnalisé. Cela s'est produit 30 jours après la nomination d'Avakov au poste de ministre de l'Intérieur. Qui sait pour quelle raison Yuri Sobolta a été récompensé avec ce pistolet personnalisé? On ne sait pas ce qui est devenu le fusil à lunettes doté du silencieux. On ne sait pas non plus combien d'armes ont été ainsi distribuées pendant le Maïdan. Mais on comprend mieux maintenant pourquoi il n'y a eu aucune véritable enquête sur les homicides dits des sangs du ciel et pourquoi les personnes qui ont usurpé le pouvoir en Ukraine n'ont pas obtenu de résultats suite aux enquêtes sur ces crimes horribles ni sur l'homme qui est parti avec ce fusil à lunettes. Et la raison est que tous ceux qui se trouvaient dans la voiture étaient liés à Turkinov, Avakov et Sergueï Paczynski. Ces gens ont tout fait pour dissimuler cette affaire et cacher les personnes qui se trouvaient dans la voiture.
What do you think?
I think we're in play. The Klitschko piece is obviously the complicated electron here, especially the announcement of him as deputy prime minister. And you've seen some of my notes on the troubles in the marriage right now, so we're trying to get a read really fast on where he is on this stuff. But I think your argument to him, which you'll need to make, I think that's the next phone call we want to set up, is exactly the one you made to Yachts. And I'm glad you sort of put him on the spot on where he fits in this scenario. And I'm very glad he said what he said in response.
Good. So I don't think Klitsch should go into the government. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you think, what, in terms of him not going into the government, just let him sort of stay out and do his political homework and stuff. I'm just thinking in terms of sort of the process moving ahead, we want to keep the moderate Democrats together. The problem is going to be Tony Book and his guys. And, you know, I'm sure that's part of what Yanukovych is calculating on all of this.
I think Yachts is the guy who's got the economic experience, the governing experience. He's the guy, you know, what he needs is Klitsch and Tony Book on the outside. He needs to be talking to them 4 times a week, you know. I just think Klitsch going in, he's going to be at that level working for Yatsenyuk. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. Okay, good. Well, do you want us to try to set up a call with him as the next step?
My understanding from that call, but you tell me, was that the big three were going into their own meeting, and that Yachts was going to offer in that context a three-way, you know, the 3+1 conversation or 3+2 with you. Is that not how you understood it?
No, I mean, that's what he proposed, but I think just knowing the dynamic that's been with them where Klitschko has been the top dog, he's going to take a while to show up for whatever meeting they've got, and he's probably talking to his guys at this point. So I think you reaching out directly to him helps with the personality management among the three, and it gives you also a chance to move fast on all this stuff and put us behind it before they all sit down and he explains why he doesn't like it.
Okay, good. I'm happy. Why don't you reach out to him and see if he wants to talk before or after?
Okay, will do. Thanks.
Okay, I've now written, one more wrinkle for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I told you this or if I only told Washington this, that when I talked to Jeff Feltman this morning, he had a new name for the UN guy, Robert Seri. Did I write you that this morning?
Yeah,
okay.
I saw that.
He's now gotten both Seri and Ban Ki-moon to agree that Seri could come in Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
So that would be great, I think, to help glue this thing and have the UN help glue it. And, you know, fuck the EU.
No, exactly. And I think we've got to do something to make it stick together, because you can be pretty sure that if it does start to gain altitude, the Russians will be working behind the scenes to try to torpedo it. And again, the fact that this is out there right now, I'm still trying to figure out in my mind why Yanukovych did that. But in the meantime, there's a Party of Regions faction meeting going on right now, and I'm sure there's a lively argument going on in that group at this point. But anyway, we could land jelly side up on this one if we move fast. So let me work on Klitschko, and if you can just keep, I think we want to try to get somebody with an international personality to come out here and help to midwife this thing. And then the other issue is some kind of outreach to Yanukovych, but we probably regroup on that tomorrow as we see how things start to fall into place.
So on that piece, Jeff, when I wrote the note, Sullivan's come back to me, VFR, saying you need Biden, and I said probably tomorrow for an attaboy and to get the deets to stick. So okay. Biden's willing.
La sous-secrétaire d'État Victoria Nuland a entamé une attaque rhétorique.
La Russie et ses marionnettes séparatistes ont déclenché des violences et des pillages atroces. Des centaines et des centaines d'armes lourdes et de troupes russes ont passé la frontière. Un avion civil a été abattu l'été dernier.
Quand ils sont égrenés comme ça, tous ces points ne sont pas contestables. Le MH17 a été abattu, mais une enquête est toujours en cours. Il n'y a aucune preuve que la Russie l'a abattu. Mais à la façon dont Mme Nuland en parle, on dirait que c'est la Russie qui l'a fait. En ce qui concerne la déclaration sur la présence des armes lourdes et des troupes russes en Ukraine, la Russie a plusieurs fois demandé aux États-Unis et à l'OTAN d'en apporter la preuve, mais pas de cette tache sombre sur des images satellites. Les observateurs de l'OSCE ont déclaré qu'ils n'avaient jamais vu transiter d'équipements militaires par les points de contrôle et qu'ils observent. Beaucoup de questions en fait. On dirait que Victoria Nuland cherche à faire reposer l'entière responsabilité du conflit dans l'est de l'Ukraine sur les épaules de Russie.
Nous avons clairement établi que la Russie nourrit le développement de ce conflit dans l'est de l'Ukraine.
Le fait que la guerre a commencé après que le chef de l'État élu a été renversé par les violentes manifestations de Maïdan n'a pas été mentionné. Le rôle important des États-Unis dans ce processus non plus.
Les manifestations à Maïdan et la fuite de Yanukovych après que nous avons négocié un accord pour la transition du pouvoir en Ukraine.
Lors de cette audition, une seule fois a demandé si la paix en Ukraine était vraiment le but du gouvernement américain.
J'espère que notre but est de faire ce qui est juste pour l'Ukraine et d'y rétablir la paix, et que nous n'avons pas pour but essentiel de battre et d'humilier la Russie. Parce que si c'est le cas, les Ukrainiens continueront de souffrir et souffrir et souffrir.
Et maintenant qu'il y a une chance d'apporter la paix en Ukraine, la majorité des députés américains et certains membres de l'administration Obama insistent pour envoyer des armes à l'Ukraine. On peut se poser une question, qui nourrit vraiment la guerre en Ukraine?
In Washington, I'm Ganesh Chakyan, RT.
Secretary Clinton.
Well, we're working hard. We're working hard.
I said at the end of the day may be next year. It will be. It will be next year.
Yeah, look, I'm waiting. Look. I think the president has been very, very clear on this. He has always said all options are on the table, and he means it.
They're having troubles now. The sanctions are not complete yet. We want to squeeze them down more, but they're having an effect.
And then, frankly, there are those who are saying the best thing that could happen to us is be attacked by somebody. Just bring it on, because that would unify us. It would legitimize the regime. An argument is made constantly on the hard line side of the Iranian government that, we're not going to give anything up, and in fact, we're going to provoke an attack, because then we will be in power for as long as anyone can imagine.
And that's the reason I say, if anybody's going to do it, we ought to do it, because we have the capability of doing it.
And hopefully we won't get to that. I mean, that would be I think.
Because you.
Well, my friends, Israel's security is non-negotiable. We need steady hands, not a president who says he's neutral on Monday, pro-Israel on Tuesday, and who knows what on Wednesday, because everything's negotiable. One of the first things I'll do in office is invite the Israeli Prime Minister to visit the White House. And I will send a delegation from the Pentagon and the Joint Chiefs to Israel for early consultations. Let's also expand our collaboration beyond security. Together we can build an even more vibrant culture of innovation that tightens the links between Silicon Valley and Israeli tech companies and entrepreneurs. There is much Americans can learn from Israel, from cybersecurity to energy security to water security. Now, all of this work, defending Israel's legitimacy, expanding security and economic ties, taking our alliance to the next level, depends on electing a president with a deep personal commitment to Israel's future as a secure, democratic Jewish state and to America's responsibilities as a global leader. For the security of Israel and the world, we need America to remain a respected global leader, committed to defending and advancing the international order. I don't think Russia and China believe they are paying any price at all, nothing at all, for standing up on behalf of the Assad regime. The only way that will change is if every nation represented here directly and urgently makes it clear that Russia and China will pay a price because they are holding up progress, blockading it, that is no longer tolerable.
What I said yesterday is that the claims by President Putin and other Russians that they had to go into Crimea and maybe further into eastern Ukraine because they had to protect the Russian minorities. And that is reminiscent of claims that were made back in the 1930s when Germany under the Nazis kept talking about how they had to protect German minorities in Poland, in Czechoslovakia, and elsewhere throughout Europe. So I just want everybody to have a little historic perspective. I'm not making a comparison, certainly, but I am recommending that we perhaps can learn from this tactic that has been used before.
Well, he's very tough. He's a very arrogant person to deal with. And I would be thrilled if the Russian people, who are so capable, had a normal country that they could chart a different future. I think that will be next to impossible, at least for the short term with Putin.
Most leaders are not going to make decisions based on their personal relationships. You know, this is the president that looked in the soul of Putin, and I could have told him he was a KGB agent. By definition, he doesn't have a soul. I mean, this is a waste of time. The time has come for the international community to unite around a plan for post-Assad Syria. This morning, President Obama called on Assad to step aside.
Assad's time is done. He has to go.
Well, I think we've been very clear in what we have said about his loss of legitimacy. I think we were among the very first to say it. The world will not waver. Assad must go. Assad must transfer power and depart Syria. I think that based on definitions of war criminal and crimes against humanity, there would be an argument to be made that he would fit into that category. President Assad is not indispensable, and we have absolutely nothing invested in him remaining in power. It's clear that President Assad cannot and has failed to bring peace, stability, or positive change to the Syrian people. We cannot permit President Assad and his regime to have impunity. Syrians deserve a peaceful transition. The transition to democracy in Syria has begun, and it's time for Assad to get out of the way. The Assad regime continues to wage war on the Syrian people. But what we really need to do to put the pressure on Assad must go. Assad's days are numbered. President Assad, regime, the Assad regime.
Assad regime. Assad. Removing the Assad regime. We think Assad must go. Assad goes.
Alors, qu'en est-il du film qui fait scandale et qui dépeint l'islam comme un cancer? On en sait un peu plus sur le réalisateur Sam Bassil, qui se dit israélo-américain. Il affirme avoir réuni 5 millions de dollars pour le tourner auprès de donateurs, pour la plupart juifs. Le scénario de l'attaque du consulat américain de Benghazi devient aussi, au fil des heures, de plus en plus précis. Martine Laroche-Joubert.
Comment et par qui l'ambassadeur Christopher Stevens et 3 autres Américains ont-ils été tués mardi soir? 22 heures à Benghazi, l'attaque du consulat était peut-être déjà planifiée par des extrémistes. Ils assaillent à coups de lance-roquettes le bâtiment. Des gardes de sécurité libyens auraient riposté avant de disparaître. Un incendie se déclare. L'ambassadeur est à l'intérieur du bâtiment. Avec 2 autres Américains, ils se seraient alors séparés, asphyxiés par la fumée. Un officier américain revient plus tard sur les lieux. L'ambassadeur est introuvable. Sur cette photo prise de nuit, difficile de dire s'il est secouru ou lynché. Le médecin de l'hôpital de Benghazi témoigne sur une possible asphyxie.
Il n'y avait pas de traces de coups sur son corps, seulement de la fumée.
Le consulat et son annexe, 3 autres Américains sont morts, gardent les traces d'attaques violentes. Elles ont duré au moins 4 heures. Elles ont commencé pendant cette manifestation contre la diffusion d'un film visible sur Internet, L'innocence des musulmans. Une suite de séquences bâclées où le prophète Mahomet est présenté comme un imbécile. Qui est le metteur en scène? Officiellement, il s'appelle Sam Bassil.
D'abord, il n'est pas israélien. Ensuite, son vrai nom n'est pas Sam. Je ne connais pas son vrai nom.
Quant à l'une des actrices du film, elle soutient qu'elle croyait avoir tourné dans une fiction.
On m'avait dit que la scène se déroulait il y a 2000 ans.
En décembre 2012, Hillary Clinton s'est déshydratée due à une grippe intestinale. Elle a fini par s'évanouir. Elle est tombée et a subi une commotion cérébrale. Au début, certains ont affirmé qu'elle faisait semblant d'avoir la maladie afin d'éviter de témoigner sur l'attentat contre l'ambassade américaine à Benghazi. Mais quand il a été révélé que Clinton est restée à l'hôpital pendant 3 jours et que les médecins lui ont enlevé un caillot de sang dans une veine de son cerveau, la théorie de la conspiration a disparu. Clinton a souffert d'une double vision résiduelle pendant une courte période après la chute, l'obligeant à porter une lentille correctrice. Un plastique adhésif prisme de Fresnel a temporairement été placé sur les lunettes de Clinton pour corriger sa vision double. Elle portait même cette lentille quand elle a finalement donné un entretien sur Benghazi devant un congrès.
Everything points to a terrorist attack, and yet 5 days later, Susan Rice goes on 5 TV shows, and she says this: Benghazi was a spontaneous reaction as a consequence of a video. A statement we all know is false. Your experts knew the truth. Your spokesperson knew the truth. But what troubles me more is I think you knew the truth. I want to show you a few things here. You're looking at an email you sent to your family. Here's what you said. At 11 o'clock that night, approximately 1 hour after you told the American people it was a video, you say to your family, 2 officers were killed today in Benghazi by an al-Qaeda-like group. You tell the American people one thing, you tell your family an entirely different story. The next day, within 24 hours, you had a conversation with the Egyptian Prime Minister. You told him this: we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest. Let me read that one more time. We know, not we think, not it might be, we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest. State Department experts knew the truth. You knew the truth, but that's not what the American people got. And again, the American people want to know why. Why didn't you tell the American people exactly what you told the Egyptian Prime Minister?
Well, I think if you look at the statement that I made, I clearly said that it was an attack, and I also said that there were some who tried to justify it on the basis of the video, Congressman. And I think
but real quick, calling it an attack is like saying the sky's blue. Of course, it was an attack. Well, we want to know the truth. The statement you sent out was a statement.
I was there, and we were nose to nose at the coffin ceremony. She lied to me. She told me it was the fault of the video. I said, are you sure? And she says, yes, that's what it was. It was the video. And she knew full well it wasn't at that time. And then she says she was going to check, and if it's any different, she would call me back. Mm-hmm. She would let me know. She has never once spoken to me or her office. The only thing I ever got out of them is that I am not a member of the immediate family, and I don't need to know.
What do you mean you're not a member of the immediate family? You're his mother.
Well, that's what I said, and they don't care.